everybody. Welcome back to Karmic Insights with Ms Karmplexity. Today we're going to be talking about breaking points. And I'm telling y'all, I reached my breaking point twice this year, okay? I really did. I got so upset. It was crazy. But we're going to be discussing what breaking points are, why we have them, and how we can maneuver through them. Okay? Because your girl was upset. And a lot of times people be like, she always talk about she holier than thou and spiritual and this, that, and the other. Like, I don't get mad. Oh yeah, I get mad. I just try not to let that anger overtake me. So I got mad because of stuff that I couldn't control, and that's not usually how I get down on things. I was really upset about my certain situation. Don't need to tell y'all all my business, but I was really upset about a certain situation that was igging me, and it came to head once. Then it came to head again, and a week later, and I was just like, Now, I got so upset. At one point, I started to yell and scream at somebody. I went off, is what they used to call it. I felt my old me coming back, and I was like, we are not doing that. We are not bringing back the old me. I have come too far to let the old me come back and destroy all that I have healed from, all that I have built. So I had to calm down. And when I calmed down, it felt better. So what really are breaking points? A lot of people really don't know what they are, but I'm pretty sure you've heard of it. Breaking points is when you've reached your limit. You have absolutely reached the limit of your emotional, mental, physical stress. You have gone to the point where you're like, man, when you get to your breaking point, you can actually feel anxiety and frustration, sadness, guilt. You can also feel as if, your breaking points can also bring on illnesses if you're not careful, okay? Because if you sit there and just let it build up and build up and build up, and then you're slowly hurting and dying and going through the motions inside, yeah, you can get sick from that. It is very important to actually take the time out to think about it. But sometimes it won't let you think properly. When you're at your breaking point, you can't think properly. And I call it, the TV show Snap, how they be talking about how the women be snapping and they go into a kill mode. They reach their breaking point. Yeah, it can happen like that because there's so much built up anger, so much built up stress, and it's difficult. It's really difficult because when you've reached that point, it's more like, I can't take it anymore. That's why you have to think before you do. Even if you are going through a stressful point in your life, you have to think before you do. You don't want to be caught up, because them women probably don't want to go to jail, didn't want to go to jail. Who wants to go to daggone jail? Nobody. Nobody wants to be in prison all their life for killing somebody because they snapped and couldn't handle it no more. Right? So you do all your best that you can to think before you do. Think before you get out there and do something rational. Yelling and screaming is not that bad. I was yelling and I was just upset, telling somebody off. Not using curse words, but telling somebody off, at a very aggressive voice tone, basically. That's thinking before I do. Otherwise, the old me, oh my goodness, the old me would have been all up in somebody's tail, screaming and yelling, ready to fight, blah, 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 that old me. So like I said, I didn't want to bring the old me back into the fruitation because I've come too daggone far to let all this stuff just get to me. And it's just like, gotta think before you. So when dealing with breaking points, you should know that breaking points are connected to long-term stress and, of course, unresolved trauma. Usually, they're there because we need to define who we are, realize our strengths. Sometimes we don't realize our strength until we get to that point, and then that little somebody couldn't. I'll tell you what, one breaking point. I'm gonna tell you this story real quick. I was living with my sex slave at one point, and my sex master at one point. And I decided that, it was time for me to find my own place to go, do my own thing, break away from that lifestyle. So I ended up going over to his house, and I was very upset because he wouldn't let me in because he was dealing with somebody else at the time. And I was very upset. Like I said, I had reached my breaking point, and that breaking point ended up with me destroying the door. I'm only 4'9" at the time, 115 pounds. But my anger had gotten to the best of me, and I tore the door down. And mind you, it was a metal door. It wasn't no easy. The door came off the hinges, and I didn't give a dang. He was calm about it, but he gave me my stuff, my Adidas's, and my Timbos, and all that good stuff. He gave me my stuff. And I told him I'd never come back here again. And I got my own place. It worked out just like that. But like I said, growing and redefining our strengths, I would have never knew I had that kind of strength to tear down a steel metal door that was locked and bolted because of my anger, because I had reached that breaking point. I would have never thought. But hey, it is what it is. You also have to learn how to make necessary changes in your life when you reach your breaking point. It's time for you to switch up. It's time for the change. You're going to keep hitting this breaking point until you change. Okay? So it's time for you to do some rearranging of some sort. And also, you need to face some of the things that you've been neglecting. When you've been avoiding something for so long, it comes back and rears its head every single time, and it eventually hits the breaking point, and you're like, oh, I should have took care of this. I gotta take care of this regardless. And you're forced now to take care of it because you've been putting it off for so long. So those are the three major things on why breaking points exist, because you need to redefine your strength. You also need to be able to make necessary changes and stop avoiding things that you've been avoiding in order to stop having breaking points. Okay, so when people say that you have a breaking point, oh, she done got weak. No, you didn't. Going through a breaking point does not mean that you're weak. Not at all. And sometimes people handle breaking points differently. I have several instances of how I handle my breaking point. Okay? My breaking points have been different each time, depending on the situation. When you're dealing with breaking points and you really feel that it's coming on, you must first take a minute. Take a deep breath, count to 10, exhale, and ask, what the heck are you trying to show me, please, before I knock these people out? Why is this happening right now? Please, can you please tell me what the deal is before I lose it? Okay, it does help. It really does help. Then, if anything, you can cry. I cry. You can scream. I scream. You can shout to the highest, but I'm tired of this shit. But whatever you do, please do not punch nothing or anybody. Don't cause harm to yourself and don't cause harm to other people. Okay? Then you'll be in regret later on. Me, I use my words. Not very good, but I use my words when I'm in my breaking point. And when it's over, I usually cry and I usually tell them that I'm sorry. I'm sorry I reached my breaking point. I want you to understand this was not personal. I have nothing against you. I've just been going through this mess for so daggone long that it's really ticking me off. And I have reached my breaking point. I'm not angry at you. I'm angry at the situation. I had to say that twice in two different groups of people. Okay? Because it was just, I reached. But with the proper understanding, they would be like, I get you, I understand, we all go through it or whatever. But then there are some people that be like, no, I want you to do this. I'm like, then you have a whole nother problem on your hands. You're gonna have to write that person off because don't be holding me accountable for something I'm getting here to apologizing to you for. I understand I made that breaking point, but if I didn't hit you, if I didn't do you any damage and I didn't do me any damage, then there should be no reason why you about to do some extra added stuff. No. But anyway, those are the ways to handle breaking points. We discussed why we have them. We discussed what they are, and we discussed how to handle them. I hope this helped you all, and I'll see you guys next week. As always, deuces.